before we continue, hello, my name is Aisha.
And my name is Indira. Welcome to the very first episode of Sardine Book Club Podcast. Today we will be discussing the most recent book that we've read.
Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson.
And The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace by Jeff Hobbs. So without further ado, let's begin.
Indira, could you care to provide our viewers with a synopsis of our first book?
Of course, the book A Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is about Dr. Jekyll who meddles with the darker side of science as he wants to bring out his evil side. He succeeds in his experiment to accomplish this and transform into Hyde to commit horrendous crimes.
Oh, that is very, very interesting. And regarding the genre of the book, I'd say it's horror fiction and fantasy fiction.
I'd say it's resonating to me with more of a novella and gothic fiction kind of vibe.
I guess you could say that too. Anyways, moving to the next question. What is the main plot of the book, Indira?
The main plot is about Dr. Jekyll who uses chemicals to transform himself into Mr. Hyde, a violent and immoral creature. Jekyll struggles to control Hyde, who eventually kills a man and takes over Jekyll's personality. Jekyll kills himself to end Hyde's reign of terror.
Speaking of Jekyll killing himself, it doesn't really explain to me why they found Hyde's body. I feel like Hyde is way too prideful and he wouldn't kill himself over being wanted.
I feel like Jekyll, as he was transforming into a Hyde, decided to drink the poison, effectively killing the both of them.
Oh, that does make a lot more sense.
Now, Aisha, would you like to tell our viewers who the main character in the story are?
Gladly. The main characters in the story are Dr. Henry Jekyll, Mr. Edward Hyde, and John Utterson.
Could you also tell us what themes were explored in the books?
Absolutely. The book explores a lot of themes, but the main ones are reputation and secrecy, and the duality of human nature.
Okay. Those are certainly very intriguing themes.
They are. Now, Indira, what did you like most about the book?
What I liked most about the book was the storytelling and the hints leading up to the big reveal. The storytelling was amazing. It was a real page turner. And hints here and there will reveal something more and more as I dove deeper in the story. I also love the characterization of both Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Do you have any dislikes towards the book, if any?
I didn't dislike anything about the book in particular, but the words in the book were more complex than usual, which isn't a bad thing, and a lot of the words in the book I didn't have in my vocabulary. Though this might just be because the book was written nearly 140 years ago.
140 years ago?
Yeah, it was published in 1886.
That's crazy.
Tell me about it. Anyways, Aisha, did the book meet your expectations?
The book definitely met my expectations, maybe even exceeded them. It was really good. I love the characterization of certain characters and the storyline of the book. Overall, it really was an amazing book.
I see. Very interesting.
Very interesting indeed.
Tell me, would you recommend this book to others? Why or why not?
I would recommend this book to other people. It's an amazing book with a great plot. Also, great characterization of the characters, but especially Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Robert Louis Stevenson captures the contrasting personality and the inner turmoil really well. If you like this book, you might want to check out his other works, such as Treasure Island.
Does he really write good books?
Absolutely. He's dead though now.
Oh. Alright then. Overall, what is your final assessment or rating to this book?
My final assessment is that plot and storyline. Though the vocabulary might not be what you're used to, since it was written in the 1880s, it really is an amazing book. I would give it a 9.8 out of 10.
A 9.8 out of 10?
Yes, a 9.8 out of 10. And now, moving on to our last question. If you had to make another ending on the book, what would it be?
If I had to, maybe I would make Jekyll and Hyde split bodies to make it more interesting. One would still be Dr. Jekyll, and the other one would be Mr. Hyde. Aisha, would you care to give us the synopsis of our second book?
Our second book? Of course. I actually have it right here. Physical copy of it.
Thank you for the hat. I'm sorry that I wasn't here to kiss you.
Robert Peace was born in Newark in a neighborhood known as Illtown to an unwed mother who worked long hours in the kitchen. Peace's intellectual brilliance and hard work determination earned him a full scholarship to Yale University. While majoring in molecular biophysics and biochemistry, he straddled up the world of academia and the world of the street, never revealing his full self in either place. Upon graduation from Yale, he went home to teach at his Catholic high school he'd attended, slid into a drug trade, and was brutally murdered at age 30. Rest in peace. Continuing to the next question, what genre do you think this book belongs to?
The genre of the book is biography.
Right, next question. What's the main plot of this book?
The short and tragic life of Robert Peace tells the story of Robert Peace, a young man who grew up in a rough neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey. Despite the challenges he faced, including poverty and crime, Robert was exceptionally intelligent and managed to excel academically. He attended Yale University, where he studied molecular biophysics and biochemistry. However, even as he navigated to the world of academia, Robert found himself pulled back into the struggles of his upbringing. He was torn between his aspiration for a better life and the loyalty he felt towards his friends and family back home. Ultimately, Robert's life took a tragic turn when he became involved in a drug dealing, which led to his ultimate death. Untimely death.
This book sounds really interesting.
It really is. Now, Aisha, tell us about the main characters.
The main characters, of course, there is Robert Peace, the main protagonist, Jeff Hobbs, the one who wrote the book. He's also in here as Robert's college roommate. Jackie Peace, Robert's mother, Skeet Douglas, Robert's father, Raquel Diaz, one of Robert's close friends, a Puerto Rican Yale student, and Oswaldo Gutierrez. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. A talented Yale student who hails from similar socioeconomic backgrounds as Robert Peace. Now, could you tell us what are the themes that are explored in the book?
Certainly. There are a lot of themes that the book covers. These themes are not only limited to family, education, race, class, community, and drugs. Now, could you tell us what you like most about the book?
What I like most about the book is that it gives us the full life story of Robert Peace, from his early childhood to his teenage years, to all his time at Yale, and to his untimely death. It helps us gain knowledge to what kind of person he was.
And the things you dislike?
There wasn't really anything I disliked in the book. I quite enjoyed it actually. It's a good biography. A little on the sad side, but a good one nonetheless. Though sometimes I got confused with the timelines, but that was probably because I was rushing through the book. So, syntax error.
Moving on to the next question. Did the book meet your expectations?
The book definitely met my expectations. This book was found in the clearance aisle of Gramedia.
Clearance aisle in Gramedia?
Yes, I guess my expectations weren't that high for it because look at this, it's so old. I was kind of surprised that it was actually a really good book. For the next question, Indira, would you recommend this book to others?
I would definitely recommend this to others. It's a great read and sheds some light on a few heavy topics throughout the book.
It's a very interesting book indeed. Could you provide us with a final assessment or rating?
My final assessment of this book is that it is truly an amazing book. The biography is really good and thought-provoking. It tackles multiple complicated themes while covering the life of Robert Peace. I would give this book a 9 out of 10. For the last question, if you could make your own ending of the book, what would it be?
Now, I know I can't possibly change the life of Robert Peace or any of the other people, but maybe, if Robert hadn't gotten into drug dealing, he might still be alive to this day. That was the end of our podcast, Sardine Lovers. See you next time in the Sardine Book Club. Goodbye.
Hey, Burr, you have a lot of good ideas, so let's be no less than good friends.
Hey, friend, that old mind of yours maybe isn't so old after all. You already are one of the smartest people who ever lived.
Well, I'm throwing my gun in a bucket of water.
Yo, me too.
Well, I'm giving you one of my sophisticated handshakes and we'll be good friends again?
Oh yes, Hamilton. I'm signing the declaration of I'm not dueling the amazing Hamilton.
Me too, definitely.